Things are going to start happening to me now.
I think Tyler is amazing.
And I'm a fan of this show. I've watched several episodes.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. You stink, Tyler.
Never promise Crazy a baby.
Oh, I like that. That's a cool idea.
Are either of you homosexuals?
I go both ways. What do you think?
You mean like flaming or?
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
But I do wonder, for others, in other cases, whether libertarianism today is just an excuse for many on the right to act selfishly.
Look at me. And then some fat asses in Washington started having opinions. The Olympic Committee started having opinions. You bitch, I know you. You started writing your opinions.
And it just makes me wonder, you're dead, bitch. You know, why are you doing this to this poor guy?
I don't care. I'm a libertarian. What I'm getting is,
did you vote for Joe Jorgensen or Trump?
Who?
Joe Jorgensen. That was the perfect answer. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning. Thanksgiving. Hope everyone's doing fine out there. We'll give people a few minutes to come in. This isn't a polished and produced show like you might be expecting. It is Tyler Yonke. Righteous Gemstone says, Happy Thanksgiving. I didn't get in the chat here, but we did have Sixart say, thanks, LPR. My family disowned me for not voting for Hillary in 2016. What a shame. Let's get some more lights going on here. Hang on. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope you're having I don't know what your plans are for today, for Thanksgiving. I will tell you mine. And if you look at the thumbnail, those are my wife was using AI a few weeks ago. Let me throw this back up here, see if you can see it. See the dogs over there? That's my wife did AI thing. She's doing this with her dogs, and she's literally going to make pictures and frame them and put them up in like our. Hey, why aren't you riding? Who says I'm not? It's 7:20 a.m. here. It's cold. It's like 45 degrees. So maybe I will go out and ride today. Why not? I've been riding a bit. I got in a scuffle with this kind of like podcast influencer guy on cycling. He did a thing. He's now been sponsored by like some earbuds or something. I don't know what it is with that. But so he posts this thing out. Maybe I'll just bring it up here. Why not? This is the kind of show we're going to do this morning. We're going to walk through different things online and make fun of Dave. What's his name? Oh, shit, this camera. Let's see if I can find it here. There's a guy named Benji. He's a good guy. And let's go over to the browser here. So he's up here and he says, don't use in-ear headphones while outdoor cycling. Hearing your surroundings is paramount for your safety on a bike, which is why I've chosen to partner with Shaw, because their bone conductive headphones, specifically the Open Run Pro 2, have my go-to headphones for outdoor cycling and running. Unlike earbuds, your ears remain completely open. And I just said, how about you take care of you, and I'll keep riding with earbuds like I've done since before you understood how a bike works. the little snizzack. I'm a little bit snarky here lately. And then he comes like, the study below, and it's like, okay, whatever, dude. You're just pumping out your stuff for all, whatever. I mean, that's perfectly fine. My camera's going to keep going pop off like this because for some reason, this is, let's see if we can, why is it not, and it doesn't even work. Let's see here. Second camera. Hang on. I'm sorry. I need to do studio mode for this. And we're just going to hang out today. I've got some things I want to show. Let's block this one. Let's bring this camera up. See, it's not even connecting. Connect then, bitch. Anyway. This is, I use Mac, and you automatically could connect your phone to be a camera, and it works fantastic. But not always. Okay. Thanksgiving. Look, we should be thankful, and I want to talk here. First of all, like I said, it didn't get put up in the chat because I didn't start the chat synchron thing until after you put it up. But Six Art saying his family disowned him for not voting for Hillary. That's rough. And I don't know if you're joking, but we definitely shouldn't be doing that. We're going to go into my family this morning or this afternoon. And then Saturday we go to my wife's family. And I love them all. I have a great time. The wife's family, they're a little bit more lefties from San Jose area. So we don't, I mean, I will talk politics with anybody. The problem you have with politics sometimes is especially where we're like all of us in here are, I would imagine, paying attention, the red-pilled people, is having a conversation with someone who kind of knows. And there's even, members of the family, which side I won't say, even on the other side, it's a mixed bag. Okay. And there's a few other, I'm not going to get too specific, but there's some people that, they're partisan. They know what they want. And if you agree with them, it's actually almost more difficult to have a conversation because they don't know why they believe this. It's just the right thing to do. So you don't really have any conversations. And then they get so easily moved on one way or another. So anyway, I mean, are we going to have political talks today? I kind of hope so. I go to it's my brother-in-law's house with my sisters and both brother-in-laws. And they don't live together. I'm just saying we're all going up to the same place. And it's always fun. I mean, we all agree. But I do get a little more harsh on their right-wing stuff because they'll tend to take it in stride, at least whatever their party is doing. So it should be fun. But we're going to watch football. I went to a family Thanksgiving a few years ago. I went to a family Thanksgiving a few years ago. It was a cousin and her husband. And they're real tutti-frutti. He was like he wanted to be a professor at this big California university, but he was working in some other capacity there and never became a professor. And he had gone to a culinary school. Okay. So we went to his house for Thanksgiving. No football to watch. We got classical music going all day. We've got young kids at the time. He's doing a big meal because he's, going to culinary school. So, and as a hobby, this wasn't his job. And then on TV, it's only the Westminster Dog Show. They wouldn't let us watch football. It was miserable. Okay. So Six Art says, so now the winter holidays are grievous and repairing from it. That's rough, man. I don't know what to do. I mean, I love family. I will say this. The holidays often can be, I've grown up with them, perfectly good family. My parents always made, good times. But there was always just something about like Thanksgiving and Christmas. Sometimes I would just like dread. And I think it was the fact that I would, especially as you're getting older, that's really what it is. You want to see your friends. We lived out in the country, holidays come, you don't really get to see your friends for a while. Or I went to boarding school in high school or in college. And you're not really with your friends during the holidays, so it's kind of a bummer. And then later on, you want to be with your girlfriend or whatever, and then you get married, and then it wasn't very good. Anyway, I enjoy it. My wife she loves the holidays. She makes a big deal about it, and I enjoy it for that. But it used to be kind of miserable. And it's weird because I'm a positive person. Nothing was going wrong. It's just kind of like, ugh, roll your eyes. I still get that way a little bit with like so much family stuff. You're going back and forth, and it's like, I just want to like hang out. So this year for Christmas, our plan was, we're just going to get a cabin up in the woods and we're just going to get that. But then my son, he got a new job in the emergency department. He's a nurse and he up in Oregon or Washington. Couldn't make it. Anyway, so it got all whatever. So now we're probably going to do the same flipping thing where you spend a bunch of money on gifts and go to different people's houses and all that stuff. So, you take it for granted, and I love that. And boarding school or juvie? Actually, it was boarding school. So it was, by the way, I did not, there's the by the way, take a drink. We are going to get to some stuff here this morning. Some interesting doohickeys thing. Oh, by the way, Jesus, there it goes again. I'm drinking coffee this morning. I went down. I have my Breville. I grind it myself with the Burb grinder. Coffee, put it in the little thing. Click, click. Make the espresso coffee. Fantastic. Anyway, magnificent coffee I have this morning. Dave Smith needs to respond to me. And I'm not saying he needs me on his show, but I wish he would consult with an attorney sometimes. He and Robbie start saying some things, and they're talking about the Comey thing, and it just frustrates me. And it's just like, is it a distinction without a difference? Maybe, maybe not. But the problem is when you're talking about some of the issues, the legal stuff, and they're a technicality, those technicalities make a difference. Matter of fact, in the ruling we talked about with Comey, they talked about the 120-day time limit. It's not around 120 days. It's literally 120 days. And then you've got to look at different things, with the courts. Is it business days? Is it court days? Typically, we go actual days, and then some specific issues, it says court days. And so, you don't count the weekends or holidays and da-da-da-da. But those are specific things. And, and so then when you're talking about technicalities and you're kind of wrong on the technicality, it makes a difference. It's not just, like, oh, we got it mostly right. And the thing Robbie was talking about is like, well, they couldn't refile on Comey. They missed their statute of limitations. Is that correct? It's my understanding. And that's a big deal, right? You can't bring charges again on Comey. My understanding is when you originally filed, since it was dismissed with prejudice and the original filing was within the statute, you can rebring that and it would still make the statute of limitations. So I'm just throwing that out there. And I think they have now a specific amount of time to refile and cure this. And it actually said, I believe in the ruling, curable or something like that. So look, the point I'm getting at is someone like him should have an attorney on call. If you want to talk about these things, bring them up. I will do that. Now, boarding school or juvie. It was boarding school. My parents weren't rich, but there was this Christian boarding school. It is amazing. It's just south of, it's Watsonville, California. That's the city. It's right there. It's close, but this is literally on the beach. It used to be kind of in just south of Santa Cruz. It used to be like a military facility there, and this church bought it out in like the 1950s, maybe 1940. I don't remember, somewhere in there. And and now it's a school. It's a school that has its own private beach. It's ridiculous. Is it super expensive? It wasn't back then. Everyone had to have a job. So, I mowed lawns as an example. And then I worked in the dorm. No, my senior year, I went there 2 years. My senior year, it was, and everybody has to live in the dorms unless your parents work there. So if you're, live in town, you're boarding school. You're there. It was fantastic. There were kids that were sent there because their parents needed to straighten them out and they did not want to be there. I begged and pled to go there. I had scraped money up and grandparents helped pay for this. And I went there and I loved it. Some of the best friends still ever are from there. So that was great. But it's pretty interesting, when I thought about sending my kid. And one of the reasons I went there is I grew up in this town called Walla Walla. Okay. It's in Washington. Actually, I was on the Oregon side of it. And college there. And I knew I was planning to go to college there. So I wanted to get away from high school. I went, grew up in this town. My dad had been there since he was 6 years old. It's just forever. So I wanted to get away and I wanted to come back for college because that's just where I wanted to go. And so I was able to do that. 2 years, had a fantastic time, came back, did engineering at Walla Walla, and then went to University of Colorado for grad school, and then rode my bike a ton. Anyway, that's some of my personal info. Good morning, Thanksgiving. Yes, let's go. Good morning, Subliminal. Glad to have you guys coming in the chat here. I want to do an announcement because this is something I want to do more, There are some paying members, by the way, and we're going to be doing this. We're going to do a members only. It's going to be we're going to watch The Lone Gunman. Okay, now this was a TV show, debuted, I think it was June or July of 2001. It was a spin-off of The X-Files. Vince Gilligan, the writer for, he was in The X-Files. He wrote Breaking Bad. He's doing Pluribus right now, and he did The Lone Gunman as well. So it's a conspiracy type of thing. Show. We're going to watch this first episode at least. I think it was only 13 episodes and then it was canceled. We may end up doing all of them. But this one specifically outlines how 9/11 is going to happen. Okay. This is in July of 2001, and they talk about hijacking planes into buildings. It was completely different phenomenon. It's not quite, super on the nose, but it's close. So we're going to watch this. Now, I plan to do this Friday. Okay. So all you have to do to be able to get up there and make sure you know where this is at is we're going to Substack, tyleryonkey.substack.com. And go there and subscribe. You're going to be able to watch it one or two ways. One, you're going to get the link there. If you have the app, you can watch it live on the app, okay? The member side. But we are then going to have, just like we've done before, you're going to have only the members are going to have a link for probably YouTube, Rumble. We're going to have it on Rumble, and you're going to be able to do it. Now, what I'm going to do is I will start the show, the Friday show, for everybody, and we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to just crash everybody over to the member side. So if you want to come over there, and it's going to be primarily on Rumble, and that's the place where we're going to be able to have the chat and whatnot. So look for that. This is going to be Friday. We're going to watch, once again, we're going to watch this members only Lone Gunman episode 1. I hope we're to see you guys there. Breaking Thanksgiving announcement. Yes, it definitely is a Thanksgiving announcement to have you there. So I don't know what you guys plan to do. What are you watching? I've been watching multiple things, and it's the golden age of television, I think, right now, because but I have to do some searching. Here's all my platforms, okay? I subscribe to them all, and with their kids, they all share in this. Have Apple TV. I've got Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu. Hulu comes with Disney Plus. That was the combo there, and I got that for the mostly for the Star Wars stuff, and then we still kind of watch some of that. Max, HBO Max, I have that as well. So all the main ones. Pluribus is out right now, which is an interesting show. I don't know if I'm totally captivated by it. I do love the crime stuff and some sci-fi things, but so that's kind of okay. We'll see where that goes. That was written by Vince Gilligan. It's got some interesting premises to it. The Last Frontier or the Final Frontier, that's something out there in Alaska. It's solid. Down Cemetery Road, that's another one on Apple. It's been pretty good. There's been Silo. That was another one I saw not too long ago. It's kind of that Fallout feeling that it's got there. It's pretty good. Dark Winds. I don't know if you've seen this one. This one really caught my attention. It is partly because of the time frame. It was based in the 1970s. On an Indian reservation, I think down in New Mexico. Okay, and it's a sheriff down there on the res, and dealing with different stuff. But it's time based in 1970s, so it's kind of some interesting thing there. One thing they talked about, it's these Indian girls and it wasn't full of sometimes you watch Longmire. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's a decent show, but. The Netflix money hitting those kids like a ton. I just finished the Murdaugh Family Murders docu-slop on Hulu. Let me tell you this. He is addicted to subscriptions. No way he watches all that stuff. I haven't watched TV in like 15 years. Stranger Things just came out last night. I started it. I will watch it, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. Okay. I'm almost said it. This is how I work. I literally work while watching TV. Okay. It's just so does my wife. I'm not even gonna tell you the stuff she watches, but if it depends on what I'm working on, there's a lot of stuff I need to do that just could be done, and I just have TV going on like all constantly. It's some sort of white noise that I need that kind of picks up part of my brain, and then I can focus. It's always been that way. My mom's like, "Why you can't be watching TV and studying?" And in high school, and I'm like, "Watch me," and then it would happen. This Dark Winds, though, if you watch Longmire and some of these other ones with Indian stuff, they get so sentimental as to like their spiritual stuff. Okay, fine. This had some of that in there as well. But it wasn't, it's just like you accept it and you go on. But sometimes it's too much with the native stuff, like they can do no wrong. This one wasn't too bad like that. But it was an interesting little thing that I had to look up, which is this girl is going in there. She's getting a young one. She's getting, having a baby. And this doctor's checking her out, a white doctor, and the nurse is Native American. And the doctor says to her, come back in when you have the baby, and we'll make sure we have it here at the clinic. And then they leave, and this nurse says, "Don't do that. He sterilized me, and he will sterilize you." And then they kept talking about this Family Planning Act of like 1970 something, 71, 73, somewhere in there. And so I looked it up, and it is quite appalling that with this act, and this is what's fascinating with this thing, it was to promote like birth control type of stuff. So what happened on a bunch of these reservations, they were just mass, sterilizing Indian women, just mass sterilizing them like crazy. What's interesting, and so you read about that, and it's horrific, and there was lawsuits about it and everything, and it's it's pretty well documented. It's a no-brainer. Family Planning Act is still it's still out there. It's still doing its thing. Mostly now, it's fascinating when you read about it. They're like, oh, it does amazing things. It's like, abortion. It's, killing babies is amazing. Oh my God, these women were sterilized. It was like, wait, the babies didn't have, you're okay with a baby not having a choice to be killed, but the woman being sterilized, you're like, oh, well, that's horrible. It's like, come on. Can you even see all of that? Tell us all the laws that were broken by the Wayward facility. I started watching that and I stopped. And the reason being is I'm like, wait, they have this tranny policeman. No one's making a big deal about it. Literally, you look that person up, had top surgery. And I'm just like, I can't deal with it. That's a lot of problems you have with procedural. What did the one I just finished? Oh, it was called Department Q. It was based in Scotland. And these guys get shot. It's a police guy. I was fascinated by it, mostly because the main guy there looks like a spitting image of one of my good friends. I was just like, I couldn't get over it. I'm like, the more I watched, I'm like, that's Nate. It's what the heck? Anyway, a lot of those procedural shows, when you watch them, they love to break the rules. It's the typical thing. Come back with a warrant. Oh, well, if I come back with a warrant, then I'm going to have to, and then they end up getting wet. And it's just like, you're like, can someone stand up to these pieces of shit? And you're like watching them because they're the good guy. That's what we've watched. I talked about that with the Comey stuff, right? When you are doing it and you're breaking the law to get what you want, but you're going to get the bad guy, it's like, okay, it's not going to stand up in court at some point, right? Because not everyone just flat out admits that they did the wrong. The Murdaugh, I will need to see that because the problem I have with the Murdaugh thing is I watched the trial and I wasn't convinced. I think the dad is a piece of shit. And so, look, this is Magoo in here. You're the one that we had to show about. I'm totally interested. I imagine it's like the Karen, it's like all of them. They go and they put these shows out and it glorifies things and it's just kind of slop. You guys aren't going to like this, but it's very similar to how all the libertarian-ish conservatives act about Killdozer. They're like, oh, it's Killdozer season. This guy, he was taking on the government. No, he wasn't. there was literally, in his mind, he was taking on the government. He was taking on these people next door who were trying to just like buy his place. This guy had plenty of money. And in his mind, God told him to go and build this thing and to try to kill people. He didn't kill anybody, but he tried to do his best at that. And you're just like, and it's hilarious to me that the libertarians are like, oh, this guy was an amazing, okay, he's, why don't you have Brad Palumbo as your main guy? He's just as mentally deranged. Or Robbie Suave. What's the tranny that's now a Christian, right? It's just like there's a mental disease going on here, and you think that this guy is somehow your savior. Be my guest. Pick someone else. This is akin to what's the quarterback? 49ers. Big hair, or he's kneeling during the national anthem, or he won't stand, whatever it was doing up there. And then he gets fired and his big issue is, the government, the state oppressing black people, especially police officers. So he goes to a press conference and he wears this T-shirt with Castro on it, or Castro, and you're just like, can you name a bigger state actor oppressing black people than Fidel Castro? It's ridiculous. Kaepernick, thank you, Kaepernick. The people, you get this. I don't know what that was for. That's for the Jews, but we're not going to do that. Okay, let's get into some stuff. Appreciate you guys. So, well, look, we all have our things, and I make mistakes. I look back at it, and make mistakes. I was fascinated by Killdozer Guy. I've watched several documentaries on that. I did watch the one on Netflix. I thought it was down the middle because you come away with it. They play a lot of his tapes and his conversations that he has with himself. He was taping himself while he was building this thing. The building of it is fantastic. And, his best friend and his girlfriend, they all got word. This is up in up in Colorado. I've been up there to that town. So Fidel is based... Well, he's a police officer, so the head police officer. So I don't know that you call him based, right? Yeah. But maybe Kaepernick was onto something. Man, that coffee's good. I had a sponsorship with Fox and Friends, and I still list him on all my. You can still get stuff. I think you can still get a discount. I just haven't been buying coffee from him recently. He came on here, we talked coffee. So yeah, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but let's go through here. I've got a few little clips I want to play here. Let's see if I can find this one. Let's start here with Dave Rubin, okay? I decided, hang on. So Dave Rubin, Fox and Sons. Did I say Fox and Friends? Fox and Sons. I don't know. It's early. Yeah, it's good coffee. He stopped sponsoring me, so I don't have an obligation to buy from him. This was the deal. You guys can go and buy coffee from him. You could get a discount, and then he would send me every month. He was just paying me in bags of coffee. And I was like, perfect. And then oftentimes I would just buy coffee myself with the discount code to get a discount. Perfectly fine. And then he reached out and he's like, yeah, you're not making any money for me. Yeah. So Dave Rubin, we're going to talk about that, but I thought I would put this, I did this poll. Let's go here. There we go. So here, can you see it? You can't see it. So we're going to have to do the browser. Okay. I put up this poll. Would you prefer to be a child in Gaza, adopted by Dave Rubin, or just kill me now? Now, we only got 25 votes, people. But the overwhelming was to just kill us now. So anyway, so this is a little video that Dave had, that someone had compiled of him interviewing what's his name? Piers Morgan. Now, what I want to say about, I've doctored this up and I put it in the background. I just put the the Gaza City ruins there because I thought that was, somewhat. Let's move this out here. Let's make sure we got all the viewings. Okay, I think we're right on target with this. So I put the Gaza City ruins behind him as he's talking here because he's really this is kind of sad in a way because he's mentally not very good. And this is slop. This is the stuff. This is the people. This is, I'm not going to say any names, but, like I said, the Killdozer, some of these ones that just take it in stride. They don't do any research themselves. They just dive into and they'll just take it because it's the thing that you say. It's people who follow Posobiec, Schlichter, any of these losers that are getting the binders and all this other stuff that don't do any of the looking at it themselves. It's cat turd level. Okay. That's where Dave Rubin is. Now, this video is a compilation of Piers Morgan basically destroying, as they said, Piers Morgan destroys Dave Rubin on Gaza. That's literally the headline. And yes, it is. And so it can be deceptive with some editing. But so I went back and I listened to it and I'm like, it's not, matter of fact, that it's better to be this video than the other. But I thought it was important to put this, the behind here. And then we're going to talk about one of the things is I sent a message. I sent a DM to Dave Smith last night because he was playing this, and you guys just still are not getting the concepts, but we'll get there eventually. Okay, let's play this.
You acknowledge that there's been no starvation, correct?
No.
You don't acknowledge
I don't acknowledge that.
Where are the videos and images of the starving Gazans?
Well, I've seen a lot, but you would dismiss them all as fakes. The UN said
that is important. There's a lot, and this Gaza stuff. This is why I put this in the background. It's hard to refute the absolute desolation of this area. You can be, and by the way, I anticipate some discussions today with people about, you know, Jewish stuff in Israel and whatnot. What's fascinating to me is, you know, you can be as, and I don't even like the name calling, because I don't mind you being racist, whatever. You can be as Islamophobic as you. That's the only word I know how to use here. You can hate Islamic people, Arabs, Palestinians, whatever. You can say the most vile things you want about them, and if you just switch those words to Israel or Jew, you are in a world of hurt. Okay, it's fascinating. Like, why can't you do that? And it's funny that the right takes this whole concept of reverse racism, which they used to say, oh, look, if you know, the way you want to treat black people, or you know, like kid gloves with them, and then you put the word white in there, it's reverse racism. You got to have this black square on your Instagram. If you don't, you're racist and all that. It's like, okay, try this one too. And, you know, my family would complain about that kind of stuff, about, you know, the wokeness. And then if you do that, and now if you say you're want to be, you know, excommunicated from society if you don't believe the right things about certain groups, and you can believe anything about any groups. That's kind of the point here. It's like, well, yeah, I'm not maybe a big fan of Islamists either, but why can't I? Why is it not? Why do I have to hate the Islamists with every fiber of my being, and bow down to Israelis or Zionists, is what I want to say, with every fiber of my being too? It doesn't make sense. Okay, with that in mind, there's a lot of propaganda. Okay, so when this whole issue and this thing happened, I don't know, it's tough to see. I've grown up seeing the propaganda from the Ben Shapiro types, right? Dennis Prager, Michael Medved. I remember seeing all kinds of stuff, and they would show, oh, look at, you know, this, it's a fake rocket, and, you know, like, the idea was that anything that comes, and I remember seeing this and like, oh, you've got to be, wait, I thought these were like primitive third world people. Suddenly you're talking about them having like amazing CGI and the ability to do they have movie studios over there in Gaza? Because the stuff you say that is propaganda is pretty well done. I mean, that's literally, I saw, you know, blogs, as we used to have them at the time, just outlining all this stuff. And you're just kind of like, oh, that's okay. Well, it's all propaganda. There's no way Gazans are at all getting rockets fired at them. I guess that's, no kids are being killed. I guess it's perfectly, that's the kind of stuff. And then you see this and you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I was lied to the whole time. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle, right? So we're seeing a lot of propaganda from the Dave Rubin side. I mean, when he says they're all fat, it's like, dude, you're not doing any kind of looking, okay? People, you don't think when this kind of desolation is out there that people perhaps don't have any food? I mean, you don't have to be a propagandist to think that that's the case. I mean, look at this Gazan landscape. It's just where are you getting your food? It doesn't make sense that it does make sense that there might be some starving people. I haven't seen them. They're all fat to me. Okay, let's keep going. I'm 11 seconds in and it's already bad.
You guys don't believe a word the UN says. The other official bodies say there was starvation. You don't want to hear a word they say. Israel denies everything. You can say that no Gazan has starved at all. The reports by almost every official body say the opposite, but you don't believe them. However, the best way to get to the truth is let journalists who are used to covering in war zones, let them go in and do their job.
Douglas Murray, he's been in there. He's been in there with the IDF.
Now we have the ceasefire. There is a reason the Israeli government is not letting the media in. They are terrified about what the world will uncover.
I just think that's just...
Well, let them in.
I just think...
It's one way to find out.
A lot of them look fat. They have fresh clothes.
A lot of them look fat. They have fresh clothes. If this was your house over here, you're either dead or where's your fresh clothes, Dave Rubin? This is, let's just put this up. You mean renowned human trafficker, Dave Rubin? Yeah, and BTW. By the way, I think that's what you're saying there. That's also the name of BTW is also the name of my other podcast, my cycling podcast, which is Between Two Wheels. As I've said, I'm the Zach Galifianakis of cycling. Okay, podcast. Let's keep going.
Lots of images of Palestinians looking hungry.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't dispute that 20,000 plus children have died, right?
So whose fault is that? I mean,
you don't honestly think that life for a young Palestinian...
Whose fault is that?
Indian kid.
But we'll say it. When you watch the full thing there, they get into the little bit, and at least Piers Morgan he says, look, life didn't start on October 7th. This is been going on for decades. Dave Rubin's like, I don't understand what you thought should have happened. When you come in, your family and your wife's been murdered and all this stuff. And it's like, what would you do? Wouldn't you destroy Gaza? And it's like, I get it. I get all that. How do you not then say, when all this oppression and you've been, the way you've been treated, what do you think? What do you think in 10 years we're going to be talking about some of these kids? Do you think they're going to be, oh my God, why do they hate us? They hate us for our freedoms over here in Israel. They hate us because of my hat. It might be something else.
Gaza in the last 2 years has been anything but utter helldy. I do believe the 3-month blockade earlier this year was a criminal blockade. I believe it was deliberate starvation of a people, deliberately denying them food and aid.
Has any other country in the history of the world been told to feed the people that are killing it?
If you look at the Geneva Convention, actually, but then no other country in the world has had the control that Israel has over Gaza, right? Which again is a whole separate issue. Show me another moment in the 75-year conflict where the response has been to kill 60 times as many people, and where you have hang on, let me finish. Where you have a government with people like Smodrich and Ben-Gvir who begin publicly, openly talking about ethnically cleansing all the Palestinians from Gaza, about annexing the West Bank, about taking complete control of all of it, to the point that Donald Trump had to step in and say that is not happening.
Random ministers
talking
about...
Okay, let's back up here a bit, because we need to have this conversation. This is what I sent over to Dave Smith. People are missing the point. Am I the only one that's done this? Which is giving a break. Look, these are not anarchists, okay? An anarchist which would believe that you don't have, and I know the globalists, you tried out there about international law and whatnot. Okay, but you guys are promoting international law. Matter of fact, Dave Rubin, by his argument, is expressing what other countries are doing this. Okay, well, you are bringing into the fact what their obligations might be under international law, right? If you just say they should never be, I don't care about international law, all this stuff, but that's not where you're at. So we're going to argue about this from the international law perspective. I've done a video about this. I broke this down. What is Gaza? Are these two sovereign nations? We've talked about this again. So once again, here is Israel's obligations towards Gaza Strip under the 4th Geneva Convention are a matter of significant legal and international debate centered on whether Israel maintains effective control over the territory despite its 2005 disengagement. Multiple sources indicate that the international community, including the United Nations Human Rights Organization, continue to regard Israel as the occupying power in Gaza due to its extensive control over the territory's borders, airspace, and maritime access. The control forms the basis for the continued applicability of the 4th Geneva Convention, which protects civilian persons in times of war. Now, even if you are, yeah, he's such a gay faggot. We're going to get to that a little bit as well. Even if you are, and by the way, Jesus, I can't stop. Have you seen the South Park? My son loves to play this clip for me. The South Park thing where they're testifying before, I don't know, committee or Congress maybe it was, about the word faggot. And like, you can be gay and not be a faggot. Anyway, it's a distinction there, and I like that. My point with this here is, even if you are two sovereign nations, you still have, under the Geneva Conventions, some rules of war, right? You can be prosecuted, and we've seen this Nuremberg trials, right, for how a party conducted itself during a time of war. And Dave Rubin's like, no one would be okay, well, did you not like the Nuremberg stuff? Did you not like people being held accountable for their actions in war? Or is it just, all's fair in love and war, right? Just do your own thing. No, he's not going to agree to that. So therefore, there are some rules that we're going to abide by and that we have, and that you're going to be held criminally liable for if you violate them. Now, with that in mind, this is Gaza. Like I've said time and time again, what the fuck is on your passport if you're from Gaza? Is it Gaza? Is it Palestine? Oh, remember, Stephen Crowder and all these people, oh, there's no such thing as okay, then there's no such thing as Palestine. So if there's no such thing as Palestine and it's really Israel, then this is Israel's land, then it is Israel's occupation of their own people. And under that, they have obligations. And what are some of these obligations that they have? To ensure, here we go, under the Geneva Convention, to ensure the welfare of the civilian population of Gaza, include protecting the wounded, sick, children, pregnant women, enabling free passage of medicine and essential foodstuffs, allowing medical teams to operate, refraining from imposing collective punishment, which is everything they've done. Article 23 of the Geneva Convention specifically requires Israel to permit the free passage of medical supplies, humanitarian aid, and a duty to reflect both treaty law and customary international law. There you go. So with that in mind, I don't give a shit about all this. It's a non-starter in a sense. Now, I'm saying I made this video. I superimposed this, and I think it's brilliant. And the fact that it only has 322 views is criminal. Everybody, go and let's make this happen. Okay, let's keep going here with these two.
But two of the most senior people in the government.
No. But them talking about things is different. I mean,
I hear that a lot. Well, my point is this: you have a unique population in Gaza, where half of them are under 18. There is a unique proportion of kids in this part of the world, right? So, at what point?
Dave Rubin just heard that and said, "Wait, what?" Extraordinary amount of kids, did you say? Interesting. For adoption, I saw this video today. This girl comes up to this guy and she's like, what's one of the most, I don't remember what her word was, extraordinary reactions you've ever seen? He goes, it's amazing. One of my friends, we were together. He comes running out of the house. He's all emotional, and he's like, it's a boy, and he's like, it filled us all with emotion, and that's why my friend's never going to go back to Thailand.
Do you try and find a different way to resolve this? The only solution that seemed to be being offered by Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, Smodrich and the others was to raise Gaza to the floor and to expel all Palestinians.
So,
Netanyahu would annex West Bank tomorrow.
He's been in power for 20-something years. He could have done it any point. Notice he hasn't. I mean,
come on.
No,
but he's done it now. So there you go.
Well, there's a couple things here. I mean, first off, I don't think any country in the world has ever been asked to feed the people that are holding its hostage, right?
That's, once again, just wrong. And I will emphasize this again. You can have that argument with two sovereign nations. This is a different thing. And been asked. Have they been asked to do this, or do they have an obligation when they're bombing their own people?
Have you ever called for any other country to do that, or anyone?
Well, okay,
has anyone ever called for that?
Well, British prisoners of war in World War II were fed.
Yeah. But
what's the difference?
What?
Prisoners of war in World War II.
I must admit, I've done that before too. What? That is a tactic when you have no clue what to say and they just stumped you. It's happened to me. Let's go back here a little bit, because that is watch Dave Rubin's
holding its hostage, right? Like, have you ever called for any other country to do that, or anyone?
Well, okay,
has anyone ever called for that?
Oh, British prisoners of war in World War II were fed.
Yeah. But
what's the difference?
What?
Prisoners of war in World War II were fed. So what's the difference?
Because they were holding hostages. They're holding their people. I mean, to me, it seems that you, as a British citizen,
being held.
So, holding hostages. Okay, well, once again, you're using now terms that are not applicable to war, which is two different things. Okay, hostages. Hostages aren't what you do in war. it's prisoners, right? Prisoners of war. They literally, Dave Rubin and et al. Believe everybody there is a enemy combatant. Okay, so therefore, wouldn't the IDF and anybody on the other side be an enemy combatant as well? I mean, you don't think that's the case? So Germany had enemy combatants they held. You mean hostages? Did they had hostages? Yeah, and when they had those hostages and they killed them and they didn't feed them, we had the Nuremberg trials. So yeah, I think that works out. This motherfucker hasn't thought this out because he takes the guy slop, guy. He also takes the guy slop. I'm just gonna go on from here.
The Israeli government, which is a hard right government, Smodrich and Ben-Gvir are not just right wing; they're absolute far right headbangers.
But meaning what? Meaning what? They have.
Meaning what? They want to ethnically cleanse the Palestinian people. Come on, Dave, they do.
They're in the government and they haven't taken an extra inch of the West Bank. They haven't, they're not.
Well,
no
actually, that's not true.
They haven't.
They've been expanding settlements left, right, and centre.
They haven't.
Yes,
Piers,
they have.
Piers, they
you
haven't.
know they have.
Piers, have you been to the West Bank?
There you go. Have you been to the West Bank? Now, I haven't been to the West. This is part of the problem that we do have. Dave Rubin, though, is not, he's going to be led around. It's the Potemkin village shit, right? If you don't know about that, over in the Soviet Union, they wanted to project that they have, amazing little villages and whatnot. So it was basically like a studio set you would have down there in MGM, right? Where you're going down like a Western, but it's just the front of the building. It's not an actual building. And so they would take people through these villages to show them how amazing the Soviet Union was, right? And Russia, but they were fake. That's the kind of tour this motherfucker's getting here. I'm going to play a clip in a little bit about what's happening. You're not taking land in the West Bank. How the videos we see of people just getting kicked out and IDF soldiers.
You don't think there've been any expansion of settlements on the West Bank?
They build apartments. They build apartments in current places.
Has there been an aggressive expansion of settlements in the West Bank during this war?
An aggressive expansion of settlements
in the West Bank during this war?
No, 100% not.
Dave, there has been. You see everything to the prism. There's nothing to see here, Gus.
No.
Israel has done no wrong.
No.
Have they done any wrong?
I don't know how to conduct a war exactly, but I know that if
it's not my question. Has the Israeli government done anything wrong in the way they prosecuted this war?
Not that I know of.
This war didn't start on October the 7th. This is a conflict that's been over 7 decades.
Yeah. Beautifully edited, by the way.
You acknowledge that.
Hey. Beautifully edited, if I may say so myself. Okay, I'm going to, but I want to play this now. We're just going to follow up. I think I have to do it this way. We're going to follow up with this guy. This is an IDF soldier.
Every house in the West Bank actually has a number. Each and every house has a number. So we would open up the maps and look at the specific house that looked into the right place that we had to enter. A city center or a road, and after we would verify that the house has the best parameters, windows, and geographical area, we made sure the people in the house were innocent. So we would enter a house of an innocent Palestinian home in the middle of the night. But I would say that what motivated me eventually to break my silence was the piercing eyes of young Palestinians when I was barging into their house in the middle of the night. I could always justify it to myself, but those eyes, the anger, their fear, was what eventually helped me overcome that. A house of a physician in Nablus, for example, that I entered in the middle of the night, taking him, his wife, and his daughter, and pushing them in a room. If they wanted to use their bathroom or their kitchen or use their phone, they need permission from me. That specific house in Nablus stayed with me for a while because that physician himself was kind enough and generous enough to sit down and explain to me what it means to be a Palestinian. And I thought that I was a good moral soldier, but I was actually helping entrench the occupation in that sense.
Now that guy could probably be killed under the Din Rodef theory of rabbinic law, which is he's basically selling out, tattling on Jews. Swallowing all the guy slop. Guy slop is kosher. Maybe. So the point with that one is that guy is refuting. He's been there. Matter of fact, he's been in the house. He's refuting the Dave Rubin guy slop. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to keep using that one. There is so this also might go against let's play this here. I don't know if this is even in English, but this lady, let's see what she says about now that we being Israel has got the hostages back. Do you think the war will resume in Gaza? I'll have to read it to you here. Yes, sir. Next, I want to tell you one thing. I don't believe in disarming Hamas. Disarming Hamas. Hamas is the executive arm of the Islamic Brotherhood. Their goal is globalization. Does that mean the war will resume? I say, thank God. Okay. We have no hostages. While the bodies of the 3 captives return, we no longer have to be precise. We can't attack without mercy. Merciless. Wow. And that, by the way, there we go again, by the way. One of the most disturbing languages to have to listen to. And then to have a woman saying that, no offense to some people out there, but Hmong and some of these other, I used to work with these ladies, very nice. One was Hmong, another one like Vietnamese, and they would talk to their boyfriends on the phone or their husbands, and I'm like, good Lord, they must hate each other. The way they're, talking, it sounds horrible. Literally, they're probably saying something like, oh, I love you, but the way that it comes across, it's a shrill language if you're a female. It was rough to that nigga is cooked. Hey, yeah, happy Thanksgiving, day of meat, witch face. How is it possible he doesn't know? I don't know, but that's what the milkers sound like. Yeah. Okay. Thought I had. I got to stop playing this Jew slop stuff here, guy slop, as we talked about. Let's go into some more. Let's go into remembering some good times back in the COVID times, and remember exactly what
California.
Our governor here in California. Just some reminders of Thanksgiving. Let's play this.
Strongly discouraging trick-or-treating on Halloween, which is tomorrow, by the way. And look at these guidelines for Thanksgiving. Parties should not have people from more than 3 households. Parties can't be longer than 2 hours. And no singing, shouting, or chanting. Hey, Steve Hilton, host of The Next Revolution, is with us now. You're a California guy. What on earth is going on with this? Look, we've just outlined these ridiculous rules. Is there any pushback against these rules?
There is, but I mean, look at these stories one after another. The gas prices, the Disneyland being shut down, and all of this. I mean, anyone might conclude that this state is run by a bunch of incompetent, virtue-signaling leftists who have no clue about creating jobs, wealth and opportunity, and instead want to micromanage us to death with their woke nonsense and pseudo-scientific bureaucracy. You might conclude that fairly, looking at what's going on.
Yes, you would. But again, no pushback? I mean, this is the United States of America. Okay, so it's California. But these kind of draconian restrictions, isn't Gavin Newsom the guy who said you can eat with a mask on, you just have to take the mask off between mouthfuls, something like that? I mean, is there no pushback here? Come on.
There is. There are some people, I think you could loosely use the term celebrities to describe them, who've been pushing back, and that's been reported. You certainly...
All right, that's depressing me. That's just disgusting. But that's the shit we had going on. Okay, Day of Meat, I think I talked about that. Yeah, the Khazarian milkers sound like. Might not be worth the squeeze. Hey-oh, wait, that deserves some... I think you met two. I hope that's it. Sorry, T. Yonki. I've only ever seen Instagram trickster Jewesses. You don't have to read my comments if it will get you. How is it with the judge? If a judge is watching this, God bless them. Yeah. Okay, I think we're winding down. Did I have anything left in my links here? Oh, you know what? Let's just take a shot here at look. We'll play this here because this might be an important thing to go on.
And she gets beaten up by her boyfriend. He beats her up. She goes to the hospital, and she texts someone, a buddy of hers, a friend of hers, a girlfriend of hers, and describes the man who beat her up and sent her to the hospital as a, quote, faggot. He's a faggot. And she's arrested and convicted of a hate crime. The guy who beat her up is not arrested or convicted. And then she goes through this whole kabuki, which is now required, where she prostrates herself before the judge. I'm sorry, it was not a homophobic rant. By the way, you're allowed to be homophobic if you want in a free country. You can have any view you want. But no, because she used the word faggot, she's arrested, and the guy who punched her in the face was not. That story tells you everything.
Well, I don't know that story. If it's exactly
Daily Mail, baby.
Okay.
Pictures of her and everything.
I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying I need to look into it. But if that is how you've told it, obviously it's ridiculous.
Would you say the word faggot on camera?
No.
Why? You don't want to get arrested, do you?
Doesn't want to be arrested.
Because it's so harmful to people?
No.
Is it like gay bashing? What's wrong with that?
No, actually, my whole issue with the whole trans debate, for example, is you don't need to slide into actually saying derogatory stuff about trans people to make the point that women's rights should be protected. You don't need to.
Well, I agree.
So what? I don't believe.
No, but it's a magic word.
I don't believe in needlessly sneering.
Well, I'm not smearing anybody. I just think.
But what would you use that word?
Faggot?
Yeah.
I just did.
But would you
faggot.
Okay, but why?
And I'm using it because you're not allowed to, because you're...
I'm allowed to.
Go ahead.
I don't want to.
Say, I love gay people. Faggot.
I'm allowed to. I just choose not to.
This chick just got arrested for it and convicted.
Right.
So that doesn't have a chilling effect on your ability to...
There are people watching this who will be offended by the use of the word
I'm sure
chick.
they will. I'm not anti-gay. I never have been. I can use any freaking word I want.
Offended by the use of the word chick.
Chick. Okay, whatever.
How dare you be so sexist comparing women to chicks?
How about this? Let my life, the way that I actually live and treat people, be the testament to my heart. That's how I feel.
There you go. That is good. And then there's another clip there where Piers talking about not being gay. It's due to pornography and whatever. Anyway, I would yeah, it was a banger. Excuse me. I'm about done here. Let's go to the chat there. I wanted to play, look, we had this shooting recently taking place. I don't know much about it. I'll wait for like Jose and those guys to come out. But what I did want to do, the last thing we'll talk about here is Andrew Wilson. This guy, look, I've seen some of his, his arguments and whatnot, and he debates. He does fine. But then he also just cucks himself. Did we play this one? I have a bunch of these different bookmarks here. I was trying to play the other one that he was having. Oh my word. The way these bookmarks are horrible. Let's you start to scroll around and then next thing you know, they're gone. So let me see if I could find, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Come on. Where's the Andrew Wilson? Nope, not there. And then they just disappear. So I guess I don't have them. Oh, well, let's play this one, and maybe we'll play this one, and then we'll go here. No, I don't want to play that one. I was trying to play the other one where he talks to that chick. We've played that one. He's talking to another guy, and he's horrible at that one as well. Anyway, Tucker is a sound clip factory. Yeah, he's been going good. I'm not anti-gay, faggot. Yeah. All right, everybody. I think we're about done here. Remember, this is what we're doing here on Friday. Okay, I'm gonna set a time. We're gonna bring everybody in, and then we're gonna have the members only. So, look, our buddy Magoo out there, he subscribed to thing. We're gonna try to give you some quality stuff, and if we get more, this is gonna be for every member, but you got to be a member to actually enjoy this. And then if we get more paying ones, we're going to do special stuff just for them. But right now, it's just going to be me and Magoo. So, no, there's a few others out there. So I want to give you some quality for what you're actually doing, because you're giving your money and your time to me. Nothing this morning. No one super chatting, rumble ranting. It's a little disappointing there. I don't know how I'm going to afford my holidays. Oh, I saw Alan came in here. Alan Mosley, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, really happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I wouldn't go over the Thanksgiving story. You know, first of all, if you were a man back in the day, would you hit Pocahontas? Was she a hottie? I don't know. Jesus, I'm gonna have to go get some breakfast, clean out this throat issue. So go there, do the members, thing what's there, but also this is how you get there. Substack.tyleryankee.substack.com. And there you go. Just saying Maxwell invited me over. Oh, good for you, Andy. Proud of you for that. That sounds exciting. Yeah, I hope everyone has a good time. Andy, maybe I'll give you a call and we'll talk a little bit today. Friday, we're going to start the show, and then we're going to do members only. We're going to watch The Lone Gunman. I mean, give me some ideas if you want something else. It has to be, a lot of these programs don't work with StreamYard. And when I mean programs like, Netflix, if I'm going to watch something, we're just going to stream it over there. They don't even allow you to do it. It goes blank if you try to turn your OBS on. So we got some problems with that. So we got to be careful. Okay, let's see which outro we have going on because I'm not sure which one we're doing here. How about, let's try this one. All right, see you guys. Take care.
Okay, I'm leaving now, guys.
But she's back.
And now.
Tyler, if you had any clout about you, if you had any knowledge of the real world of what happens, we walk into Tim Katz's studio, immediately there's 4 Jewish lawyers.
King of the Druids!
That's all we needed. A Jewish princess.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't expect the normies like Tyler to understand these kind of things. He's just a podunk lawyer somewhere in rural California. He's an idiot, really.
Takes a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick. I guess that's me. Keep fucking that chicken.
This guy's, I wouldn't say he's full of shit, but I'd say he's stupid. Whatever, if you're in the comments, if you're in the chat now, I wouldn't pay attention to anything he says anyway. But
more or less, eat shit and die.
Don't ever come to Top Lobster. He will end you. Do you see what he just did to Tyler? Just fucking challenge this
Tyler's
entire...
done.
Top is a maniac.
He can't even reply right now because he's crippled.
He's got nothing to say.
What are you talking about? I didn't say that. Why don't you argue with something I said, you dumb bastard?